Vadita Narari Rupa Jai Jagadisha Re Jai Jagadisha Re Jai Jagadisha Re Jai Narasimhadev, 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 Jai Narasimhadev. Jaya Prahlad Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj, Jaya Prahlad Maharaj. Nittai Gaura Haribo, 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 Nittai Gaura Haribo. Shri Narasimhadev Bhagwan ki, Shri Prahlad Maharaj ki, Go Premanande.
Sunday love you, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So before you all go, thank you all so much for joining the Raj Borga Arti on this beautiful Sunday. So as you know, there's two ways to digest. There's the digestion that happens through the mouth, what we eat. But also there's the digestion that happens through the ears, what we hear. And it is actually said what we hear impacts and affects our consciousness. It impacts and affects the sort of decisions we make in life. So you've all had the opportunity and the fortune to be here and to also, participate in the Raj Borga Arti, sing along in a beautiful kirtan. But there's another form of kirtan. And that type of kirtan is the kirtan of what we hear, what enters into our consciousness. So we'll be having a Bhagavad Gita class. And for all of you enthusiastic spiritual seekers, on the 28th of April, we also have a wonderful Sunday love feast. As you know, you've probably been to the Haveli and you've seen it. There's one in the evening. But because of high demand now, there's also one in the morning. So you guys can come to whichever one. If you want to come to the morning, you can come to the morning. If you want to come to the evening, you can come to the evening. So there's no such thing as I don't have time anymore. So now we're going to have the Bhagavad Gita class by Akhand Krishna Prabhu, who's lived here for many years as a brahmachari, and he's also got a lot of experience living also in the outside world. So he's going to take the concepts of the Bhagavad Gita and share with you in ways that you can practicalize it in your own lives. So I highly recommend for every one of you, take high advantage of this and listen attentively, and you'll reap the benefit of it. Just like Arjun, right? Arjun, he heard from Krishna and it completely changed his life. So the Bhagavad Gita is none different from Krishna and these words. So please do sit around. Prasadam will be served all day today, so don't worry about that. And try and make the most out of today. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. A little bit louder. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Okay, so the Vyasa will be moved to the lotus. So if everyone just sitting there with the yellow can just move, and then enjoy the class. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So we'll start the Bhagavad Gita class by reciting a very beautiful prayer. It's called the Radha Madhava prayer. So if you know the prayers, please do sing along with me. Otherwise, you can just hear. And the reason we start any class with a prayer is called Mangala Charana, because before the start of any auspicious activities, we want to start it in a good way, in a positive way. So we are seeking, you can say, positive vibrations. We are seeking blessings, so that this yagna, this is a yagna of knowledge, so it goes well, and the devotees who have assembled here to hear the katha or hear the scriptures can actually digest and take something from here. So that's the reason we are doing like a small bhajan before we start the Bhagavad Gita or the class on the Bhagavad Gita. Yeah. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandan Braj Jana Ranjana Yashodanandan Braj Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Gokula Nanda, Radha Gokula Nanda Radhe. Jaya Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman, Jaya Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman. Jaya Gauranitai, 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 Jaya Gauranitai. Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Kila Prabhupada. Shri Shri Radha Gokulananda ki, Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman ki, Gauranitai ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Nitai Gaura Premanande. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kantha Radha Kantha Namostute Tapta Kanchanna Gourangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpa Turubhescha Kripa Sindhuva Devacha Patitanam Pavnebhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Okay, Hare Krishna. So, first of all, we'll like to begin with this very simple question. Okay, who is coming for the first time at Bhaktivedanta Manor? Any hands? Okay, that's wonderful. So everybody has been here before. That's wonderful because it will really help my class actually. So, so I don't have to kind of like go through the entire introduction and stuff. But are all the devotees aware of the Bhagavad Gita? Yeah. So, what is Bhagavad Gita like? Bhagavad Gita. So, let's start with a very simple question. What is Gita? Geet. It's a song. Wonderful. It's a song. And Bhagavat means? Divine song. Wonderful, bro. That's wonderful. So, Bhagavad Gita. So, the song of the divine. So, it's called the song of the divine because it was spoken on a battlefield and it was spoken by Lord Shri Krishna himself. To whom? Arjuna. Yes, exactly. And oftentimes we say that when Shri Krishna is actually directing or giving these instructions, he's not only speaking to Arjuna, but he's also speaking to all the devotees or all the people who are actually hearing, reading or discussing this Bhagavad Gita. Yeah? So Arjuna was actually just a medium so that all of us can actually also hear the Bhagavad Gita. Yeah? So just to kind of like give a prelude, this great war is about to take place, and which I think today I thought instead of just taking a verse, you can say the consequence or the situation of the Bhagavad Gita got started. So I thought I'll just discuss that today. So this great battlefield is about to take place. Um, Krishna is on Arjuna's side, on Pandava's side, as you guys know, and on the other side was the Kuru dynasty or the Kurus, and you can say the lead up or the lead or the main king of the opposite party was Duryodhan, exactly. So the word Duryodhan, the name itself is Duryodhana. That means one who is a dirty fighter, you know. So Yodhana means one who will go to any means to achieve his success. Because every, you can say, battlefield, let's say a very simple example. So when we say a very simple, you can say, martial art like boxing, it has some rules, right? Like you can't hit below the waist, you can't hit them on the groin, you can't hit them certain places. So every, you can say, art or every kind of martial art has its rules, right? But Duryodhana name itself suggests that he was such a personality that who won't who won't think about, you know, what is the rule, like I don't care, I just want to win. So that is his mentality. So Duryodhana. And his father was Dhritarashtra, right? So Dhritarashtra, the meaning of Dhritarashtra is like one who is, you know, Dhritra. Dhritra means that's hold on. Like he's very kind of like, it's my kingdom, you know, it's mine. Like I won't let it go. So he was of that mood. So even though there were the two kingdoms, the Pandavas and the Kurus, and rightfully the kingdom belonged to the Pandavas, but Dhritarashtra, because of his nature or selfish nature of holding on to things, he didn't want to actually let it go to the Pandavas, and they gave them like so many options. Okay, fine, like you want the kingdom, that's completely fine. Just give us 5 villages. 5 villages, we are happy with that. But he said, no, I won't even give you a pinch of a needle. I don't care, you know, I don't care. So that's okay, fine. If that's a scenario, then the fight will happen. So this Bhagavad Gita was spoken on the battlefield, and it's not just instruction for a warrior, it's actually instruction for the whole mankind. Just recently, a very famous movie came, The Oppenheimer. Have you guys heard? And just imagine like that person who just had, you know, discovered this like weapon who can actually finish like traditions and dynasties and civilizations. He was going through this entire guilt of, have I done the right thing, you know? Because the power of this bomb is going to actually finish countries, finish civilizations, and he was going through this intense guilt and grief. And then he turned on to the Bhagavad Gita, a same situation where Arjuna was in, and he found solace, like he found some peace and some harmony. And he used to always quote the Bhagavad Gita, especially the verse where Lord Shri Krishna is saying that I've come as death, you know, the vanquisher of worlds. So he will often quote that verse over here. So before we begin, I thought I'll just go through like the first chapter a tiny bit over here. So the battle is just about to take place. The armies have aligned, and normally, you know, in the olden times when a battle used to take place, they will have their dhwaja or their flags, and the whole army was just about to fight. And before a fight, you know, there's a, you can say, certain signal. The senapati, or the, you can say, the main in charge, he will give a signal that okay, the war is about to take place. So in the olden days, they used to always have the conch shell or the shankha. The shankha, they will play the shankha. So the first, the side of the Kurus, they actually played the conch shells, you know. And the Bhagavad Gita kind of says that sa sabdas tumola bhavat. Like the Kuru dynasty played the shankha and it made a lot of sound. It made a lot of like tumula bhava, like there was a lot of sound, but there's no mention of what effect it had on the opposite side, right? When I think of this, sorry, I'm giving like very basic examples so that all of us can kind of understand. Does anybody of you watch rugby? Rugby, by any chance, or any of your friends have watched? So you'll see there's the best team in the game of rugby is New Zealand. And before any game starts, they do something called the haka dance, you know. So because New Zealand, it's like a warrior nation, like the tradition they have is like of Maori warriors. So before a war happens, they actually sing a song and they kind of like make this like very intense gestures like before the fight. So similarly, in our Vedic tradition, like we play the conch shell. So the Kurus actually played the conch shell, but it didn't have any effect on the opposite, on the Pandavas. But then Pandavas, they started playing the conch shell, and the Bhagavad Gita kind of mentions, it says, Panchajayanam Rishikesha. So Lord Sri Krishna, he played the Panchajanyam. So his conch shell was called the Panchajanyam. Devadattam Dhananjaya. So Dhananjaya is Arjuna. So he played a conch shell called Devadatta. Poundram Dadmau Mahashankam. Bhima Karma Vikodara. So Bhima is always called Vrikodara, like one who performs like this amazing task, He played the Mahashanka. So Mahashanka, by Mahashanka, he played, Prabhu, can you sit on the side if that's okay? Yeah. He played the Mahashanka, is like a skull of a human being, So Vrikodara Bhima, he just played this this massive Shanka called Vikodara. And then it says that Saghosho, and then you have other people, Ananta Vijayam Raja. So Ananta Vijayam means Yudhishthira, he played a conch shell called Ananta Vijaya, Kunti Putro Yudhishthira, Nakula Sahadeva. So there are two brothers called Nakula and Sahadeva, and they played Sughosha and Mani Pushpako. So they had two conch shells called Sughosha and Mani Pushpako. And when the Pandavas actually played the conch shells, Sa Ghosho Dhritarashtram Hridayani Vyadarayat. So that means when the Pandavas played this conch shell, the Kurus, they were just astonished. They just started feeling their headaches, the body trembling. Lot of them actually fell from the horses, lot of them fell from the chariots. They were like completely, like terrified, like as if like a thunderbolt had just fallen upon them, because Sri Krishna is on their side, right? So Sri Krishna is actually, when with his devotees, he is, this is example of, you can say, coming from wildlife. So when a lioness, she has this jaws with like this amazing like big mouth. When she's, you can say, going to hunt for his prey, the mouth of a lioness actually is a symbol of death, right? Because it will come and catch the prey. But the same mouth, when it's holding on to its cubs, she's like a mother and she just holds it very gently. So similarly, Lord Shri Krishna, when he is with the devotees, he's very kind and very affectionate. But when he's, you can say, opposing an army or opposing his enemies, he can be very, very ruthless also. So when Pandavas actually played the conch shell, the tremendous sound it made, all the Kurus were just absolutely terrified, and they just fell unconscious, and they just didn't know like what to do. And it was such kind of like scenario. And then it says, Atha vyavasthitan drishtva dhritarashtran kapidhvaja. So the Pandavas, they were very merciful. So they gave them some time. Okay, fine. The entire army, before even the war had begun, they were just completely terrified and just fallen off their chariots and their horses. So the Pandavas gave them some time. Okay, fine. You need some time for rearranging yourself. That's completely fine. So they gave some time, and in that time the Kurus kind of like stood back. They were kind of like, okay, where am I? Oh, I'm in the battlefield. I need to fight. And they're kind of like looking at each other, and they're kind of like rearranging stuff. And the war is just about to take place. Is, you can say, the brink of the war when it's about to take place. And then they kind of like, all the Kurus kind of like gathered all their strength. They climbed back onto the shoulder, onto the horses, onto the chariots, and the fight was just about to begin. And you can say, just on the brink of the fight, this amazing thing happens. Normally, like, you can say all the signals, all the commands have been given, and everything just right about to fight, or the start of the war, and just about, Arjuna gets this inspiration from Lord Shri Krishna, and he says, wait on, stop. So he says, Pravrte Shastra Sampatte Dhanur Udamaya Pandava. So from the side of the Pandavas, Arjuna actually picks his bow and he does a signal like this, like stop, just Just wait for a second. Just wait for a second. And then and because he was like a very famous warrior, so all the people, the Kurus as well as the Pandavas, they kind of like stopped. They held back. And Arjuna kind of spoke to Arjuna. He says a very you can say famous verse. It says, "Senayor ubhayor madhye ratham stapya me achyuta." So Senayor, in the midst of the army, ubhayor madhye. So in between the army, ratham stapya me achyuta. Oh achyuta. So the word achyuta means one who doesn't fall from his position, or one who will never leave his respect or his personality or his, you can say, his you can say his principles. So, oh Achyuta, can you please take the chariot amongst the fight? So it's such, you can say, surprising thing that a war is about to take place, and both the armies and this warrior, this very famous warrior, and he was actually the Senapati of the Pandava dynasty as well. So he's saying, actually, stop before the fight. Can you please take my chariot in the middle of the fight? So everybody's kind of surprised, like, okay, what is happening? Like why the war just is about to start and it's just kind of like stopped. And then he says, so Krishna kind of like, it doesn't say, but he's looking at Arjuna. He's asking like, why? Like, we have come here to fight, right? And why are you asking me to actually take the chariot in midst of both the armies? So Arjuna will answer. He will say, Yosyamanan aveksheham yata ite atra samagataha. So he says, Krishna, I want to see all the people who have assembled here, I want to see all the people who have come here to fight and who have assembled here to please the evil-minded Dhritarashtra, Durbuddher. So he's using the word Durbuddher. That means I want to see all the people who have come here to start this battle. So normally, any fight, or you can say any big task we perform. So let's say, again, a very simple example. So you are planning a journey in your summer holidays, yeah? Let's say you want to go somewhere in Europe, or let's say somewhere North Wales or Scotland somewhere. So before we plan our journey, we normally check the Google map, right? So we want to check how far is it, how much time will it take me, what kind of route it takes me. Okay, it's going through this major city, so maybe I'll have some traffic, so I'll have to have some kind of like snacks or like some water in my car. So we normally, before like starting any big task, we normally plan for things, right? So similarly, like this war is about to take place, and Arjuna is still kind of like very enthusiastic. He's very inspired. He's like, I want to fight, but I want to just see who are the people who have assembled here, and who am I actually going to fight. So he's actually giving this instruction, like Senayor Ubhayor Madhya, like, Arjun, Krishna, please can you take my chariot in middle of the armies? I want to just see who are the people I'll be fighting very, very soon. So still now you can say the scenario is like the war is just about to take place. And it's just so amazing that and Krishna, as we said, like, he's giving the inspiration to fight. So he says, so Krishna, he could have just taken the chariot anywhere amongst the midst of the armies, right? But he purposefully took the chariot right in front of Bhishma and Drona. Because even though Arjuna was going to have this battle, but for him it was very, very tough to actually fight his grandfather, because Bhishma was like his grandfather and Drona was his own teacher, and then you had Kripacharya and all the different family members. So you can just see, like, Krishna, we say Bhagwan ki Leela, like his like, you can say his Leela, that he puts the chariot right in front of Bhishma Dev and Dronacharya, and he says, Bhishma Drona Pramukhata Sarvesham Cha Mahikshitam Uvacha Partha Pashyetan Samavetan Kuruniti. So just to kind of like, Lord Shri Krishna is about to actually speak the Bhagavad Gita. So just before speaking the Bhagavad Gita, he's kind of like bringing those conditions. He brings the chariot right in front of Bhishma and Drona, and he says, Arjuna, have you seen your grandfather Bhishma? And Arjuna is like, that's my grandfather. And then like, Arjuna, have you seen your teacher Drona? So Arjuna is again, that's, oh my goodness, that's my teacher. And then this war is about to take place. I'm going to actually fight with my own grandfather, you know. My grandfather, who when I was a child I used to play in his lap. My teacher, when I knew nothing, he taught me. He made me this great warrior and this great prince who I am today. That's only because of Dronacharya, Kripacharya, Shalya, my mama, or my, you know, all my relatives, my brothers, my friends, all of them are on their side. All of these people, I used to play as a kid. I used to play with them. I've spent so much time with them. And now this is this consequence that I'm standing here and I'm actually about to begin a fight with these people who have spent nearly my whole lifetime with, you know. So now we can say the strike of the pain and the sorrow, because till now Arjuna was enthusiastic. He was like inspired, like, okay, Krishna, take my chariot amongst the armies. I want to see who has assembled here. But just when he sees his family members, the grief and the sorrow kind of kicks in, and you can see like his tone or his you know, the way he's speaking also kind of like goes down. He's like, I'm about to fight these people. I don't know whether I'll be able to fight this war anymore. And now starts this like the prelude of the Bhagavad Gita, where this like intense discussion, like, so Arjuna is kind of like giving all the reasons like why should I fight this battle, you know. So he's kind of like asking Krishna, I'm not sure, you know. My family members are here, and he's also kind of like giving a lot of different, you can say symptoms of this grief. So he's saying, Tatra pashyasitan partha pitran atha pitamahan acharyan matulan bhritran putran potran sakimsat. So he's saying his pitran. Pitran is like the people who are at the age of his grandparents. Acharya, his teacher. Matulan, his mama. Bhatran, his brothers. Putran, because Arjuna was married, he had kids. So Putran, Pautran, Sakhims is like friends. So all of them people they're seeing, and he's just like completely like shattered, and the enthusiasm is gone now. And he says, and then he's kind of like revealing the symptoms after seeing his family members. He says, Siddhanti mama gatrani mukham cha parishushyati. So he's saying, Krishna, my body is trembling now, you know. My body is trembling, my mouth is drying up, all my hairs on my body is standing up. And he's kind of like giving further symptoms over here. He says Gandiva shamshayate hasta tvakchaiva paridhatyate. So he's saying the famous Gandiva bow, because if you read the Mahabharata, you will come to know that there was a fight between Lord Shiva, Mahadevji, and Arjuna himself, because Mahadevji wanted to test Arjuna, and this fight happens, and Arjuna, being a human being, actually kind of not defeated, but you can say he inspires even Lord Shiva. Like Lord Shiva was also astonished, like how can a human being be so powerful? And all of that had happened because Arjuna had this very, very great Gandiva bow, you know. And now in this battlefield, before the Mahabharata war is just about to begin, this Gandiva bow is actually slipping from his hand, and he says, Tvakcheva paridhatyate. So my skin is burning, you know. So he's kind of like giving all this reason, like I'm just feeling this like headache. I just can't see. Everything's kind of blurry now. My mouth is drying up. My body is shaking. My skin is like, you know, burning hot. I just don't know what to do. I'm going to actually fight with my own family members. I just, you know, it's just completely giving this symptoms. And as if Sri Krishna is asking, like, why are you getting these symptoms? What happened? You're still here. The war hasn't started yet, but you're saying that the bow is slipping from my hands, and I'm getting all these symptoms. I just don't know what to do. Like, why? So then Arjuna kind of like brings his reasons. He says, Na shreyo namu pashyami hatva swajanam ahave. So he's saying, Krishna, I don't see any benefit. I'm not seeing any benefit from fighting this war. who are we fighting this war with? Our own family members? Do we really need to fight? Like, these are our own family members, you know. And then he will give this like this amazing reason. He says, you know, and this is you can say in principles of societal norms, we do parishrama, we do hard work, or you can say, let's say somebody works really hard and he gets a bonus from his work and he wants to go for a holiday. Normally, we can say 90% of the cases, he will like to go with his friends, his family, his children, his wife, because the success part, like we want to, you know, and like the nature of the soul is to serve. So he wants others, his suhrida, his dear ones also to experience the holiday or the new house or the new car, because happiness kind of increases when we share with other people, right? Especially our own family members. So Arjuna is giving this directive here. He's saying that Krishna, we work hard. We work towards something. We want to earn a kingdom. You know, let's say we are doing this war because we want to get the kingdom. We want to feel happiness. We want to share the joy or the happiness or the comforts. But we do this only because of family members, right? Normally we want to do or work something or achieve something in life to please our family members, because all of us can actually, you know, get the facility and actually feel good or feel happy. But after this war, nearly half of our family members are all going to die. So is it really worth it, you know? Like, I'm actually about to start this war and nearly half of my family members are about to die. So is it really worth it? So he's asking kind of like that kind of questions, and he's again saying, Na kangshe vijayam Krishna, na rajyam sukhani cha. So I don't want such a kingdom, you know. What is the use of such a kingdom where half more of my family members, they're going to die? My friends, my families, my brothers, all the people I grew up with, they're all going to pass away. I don't see any benefit from such a war. And it's kind of like, Kim Rajyona Govinda, Kim Bhogyor Jivitena va, Esham Arthe Kangshitam no, Rajyam Bhoga Sukhanicha. So he's kind of like giving all this reason. So Krishna is saying that, okay, fine, you have this compassion, right? I can understand you are a good-hearted person. You have this compassion towards your family members. But have you seen the Kurus? They are all kind of like you know, just ready to like just devour you, you know. They don't have any compassion. So you are like speaking all these words about compassion, how showing mercy, what is the use? I don't want to fight. I want to retire back. I don't want anything. I can be, you know, let them have the kingdom, everything. But even if you don't fight, they are ready to jump upon you, pounce upon you. They will not think a second before just charging upon you, you know. So when Krishna kind of like asks this, so he says, Arjuna kind of speaks, Yadi api itena pashyati loga pahata chetasa kulashaya kritam dosham mitra dohe cha patakam. So Arjuna is kind of answering back. He says, you know, even though they don't have compassion, they don't have the mercy, because their hearts have been taken from the desires, but they don't see the long-term effects of fighting this war, how a whole dynasty is going to finish. They can be, you know, not in that position to actually see the long-term effects of this war, but that doesn't mean that I also must do the same thing, right? So he's kind of like giving all these reasons, and then he goes like, Kula Shaya Kritam Doshan Prapashya Pir Janardana. So, you know, if we kill, or you can say if the family members are destroyed, the whole kula, the whole you can say the dynasty or the traditions will be lost, because normally in any family, in any tradition, you can say the traditions are held on by the senior members of the family, right? But when this war will happen, all the bigger family, all the senior family members, they are all going to pass away. So I don't see any benefit, you know. And by societal means, these are like very good principles, right? Because in society we always discuss that we shouldn't fight, we shouldn't, you know, we shouldn't have lobha, we shouldn't have desires. And then Arjuna will go on to give like further reasons. He will say, you know, when we destroy, so he says, Kulakshaya Pranasyami Kula Dharma Sanatana. So all the Kula Dharmas, all the traditions of a family will be destroyed when we will have the battlefield. Then he says Adharma Vat Krishna Padushyani Kula Striya. So he says when the senior members of the family will pass away, the young people, they'll be, you can say, there'll be no one to guide them, and the society will kind of like go astray, you know. It will give rise to people who will not believe in any kind of religion or any kind of dharma, and they will do their own thing. The society will become just for the benefits, and everything will be, you know, all the social norms and the rules and the regulations, they will all go away. And he's kind of like giving all this like different reasons of why I shouldn't fight this war, why I shouldn't actually go forward. So he says, by the evil deeds of who destroy the family tradition and thus give rise to unwanted children, all kinds of community projects and family welfare activities will be devastated. So if there's a rise of Varna Shankara, or a kind of people who don't believe in rules and regulations, like a mob mentality, you know, they will kind of like destroy all the rules and the benefits of the society, and everything is kind of like, you know, will become like totally devastated. So he's giving all these reasons. And then the first chapter kind of finishes, and I just want to like ask an honest question, like, till this moment, do you feel Arjuna is right or Krishna is right? Like Arjuna should fight the battle by all the reasons what he has given? Yes? Exactly, right? So now, my request to all of the devotees who have assembled here is, please do read the Bhagavad Gita, because the first chapter, we just finished the first chapter. So from the second chapter onwards, Krishna will start speaking all the reasons, like even though they are your family members, even though you can say, you know, if you fight the family members and the senior members of the family will pass away, the traditions will be lost and all this like difficulties will arise. But being a warrior, your dharma is to fight, and you must fight. We say Satyamev Jayate, for holding on to the dharma or for the truth, you must fight, you know. And then starts the chapter 2 of the Bhagavad Gita, which I will request, this year you are here, you are at Bhaktivedanta Manor. Srila Prabhupada established this Bhaktivedanta Manor to kind of like discuss and propagate spiritual principles from Vaishnava tradition. So please, if you have a Bhagavad Gita, that's wonderful. If you don't have, you can get a copy from the reception. And today, let us kind of like delve into more that Arjuna, who was a great marrier, who gave this amazing reasons to not fight, but still how the discussion kind of unfolds, and why Arjuna at the end, he will say, all my doubts have been cleared now, I am ready to fight. So how a warrior who's kind of like very morose and who's kind of like very unenthusiastic or uninspired, he at the end of this entire Bhagavad Gita, this song of Krishna, he will actually take up his bow and actually go towards fighting. So I want you to actually start reading from the second chapter onwards, and bring out a reason, and maybe we'll see each other in the temple, and you have to kind of like come and understand and say to me, Prabhu, this is the reason I understood why Arjuna actually said, yes, I want to actually fight this battle. So I'll finish my class here. If you have any doubts or any clarifications, any suggestions, please do let me know. Any questions you have? Okay, so I'll finish it here. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Nitai Gaura Premanande. Hari 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 Bol.
Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaur Bhakta Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Krishna Krishna